At Marine Headquarters, Admiral Kizaru gets a report about the new warlord Edward Weevil defeating 16 of Whitebeard's allies while destroying cities, and although many people doubt his claim of being Whitebeard's biological son, Kizaru states that his strength is similar to the former Yonko in his prime. After being caught in thick fog, everyone on the Barto Club ship spot a huge shadow moving, to which to their surprise is a massive elephant. Law reveals that ZOU is on the elephant's back where it's populated by the mink tribe for 1,000 years. Meanwhile, at Baltigo, Dragon prepares to summon all the top members of the Revolutionary Army after receiving reports of victories on various islands thanks to the Dressrosa incident. Unaware to them, Burgess is near their base, due to stowing away on a ship by chance, and contacts Lafitte and Shiryu to bring the Blackbeard pirates. After defeating the AO pirates, Edward Weevil and his mother, Bakken, decide to go after Luffy in order to find the rest of the Whitebeard pirates. The Straw Hats, the Samurais and Law climb ZOU while discussing about the others and their comrade, Reizo, until a monkey knocks Kiemon and Kenjuro off Ryunoseki. As the Straw Hats and Law make it to the top of ZOU, they find the Mikomo dukedom in ruins. They search through the abandoned country and are attacked by the minks that inhabit ZOU, with one of them wearing Nami's clothes. The minks, Carrot and Wanda, leave the Straw Hats and Law in order to stop Luffy from invading the whale forest and getting attacked by the Guardians, but not before giving them directions that'll lead them to their friend's corpse, horrifying the Straw Hats. Not sure that they should trust Wanda, Law advises the others to follow him to find Bepo, while Luffy comes into conflict with two Guardians, Roddy and Blackback, until Wanda and Carrot intervene. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats and Law walk through Kurao City seeing signs of recent heavy damage, which Wanda reveals is due to an attack by a pirate named Jack. Zenusha, the elephant that carries ZOU on its back, spouts water onto itself, throwing the Straw Hats into chaos. Meanwhile, Kiemon, Kenjuro, and the monkey mink attempt to climb back up, but the water causes them to fall off again. Luffy's group reunite with Law and the rest and head to the Right Belly Fortress, where they receive an unexpected friendly welcome from the minks. They then reunite with Nami, who start crying, and Chopper. Brook arrives and asks to talk to them privately, while several dog minks arrive and chew on his bones, relieving that the corpse Wanda mentioned earlier was Brook. Nami explains that they were attacked by one of Big Mom's ships, launched a counterattack, then arrived at ZOU. Suddenly, Duke Dogstorm, one of the rulers of Mikomo Dukedom, woke up and asked to see them. As Law reunites with his crew, the Straw Hats go to see Dogstorm and learn what happened 17 days ago to ZOU. Jack and the Beast Pirates attacked the country looking for Reizo, who the minks never heard of. However, Jack doesn't buy this and continues his assault, and the minks use their electro ability to fight back. The Straw Hats and Wanda reach Duke Dogstorm's sanatorium, where they meet the Duke as well as his subordinate Sicilian, while Wanda tells the Straw Hats about how they arrived and fought against Jack. Duke Dogstorm tried to explain to Jack that there are no samurais in the country and they should stop their destruction, but Jack ignored him and they begin fighting. A rain eruption gives the minks a slight upper hand, but then at 6 p.m. Dogstorm retreated with his musketeers to allow the King of the Night to take over. Nekomamushi emerges displaying his strength to Jack, who turns into his human form, revealing he ate an ancient Zoan devil fruit, the elephant fruit, model mammoth. Nekomamushi fights against him until the sun rises and Dogstorm takes over. Wanda explains that the battle dragged on for 5 days, during which the two rulers repelled the enemy forces but were unable to bring down Jack, who out of anger unleashed a poison gas weapon on the whole city, which brought the minks' resistance to an end. Jack then proceeded to torture the two rulers and their subordinates by cutting their limbs until he heard of Doflamingo's defeat and went to rescue him, only to be supposedly killed in the attempt. The very next day Sanji's group landed at ZOU and stumbled upon the destroyed capital, finding the wounded and injured citizens slowly dying. They left the ruined city to formulate a plan when they heard Nami cry out in distress. Sanji immediately came to her rescue and saved her from a group of Jack's subordinates who quickly flee the island. Regrouping, they force Caesar to use his powers to clear away the gas and to help create an antidote, since he was the one who created it. The crew quickly administer to the survivors, and after everyone's been treated, Sanji passes out food while Brook plays music to the minks' delight. Wanda explained that they owe a debt to the Straw Hats that they hope they can one day repay. As they walk through the forest, Brook explains that Big Mom's assassins had managed to track the Straw Hats to ZOU, thanks to the fact that Pecoms is actually a mink and who was known to be a delinquent among the tribe. He and Capone gang Beji land on the island and quickly learn of Jack's attack and the Straw Hats' miraculous rescue. Wanting to settle the matter without conflict, Sanji and Brook meet with the two in the forest alone to listen to their demands. Beji mentions that they have another mission besides capturing Caesar. However, Pecoms can't harm the Straw Hats after knowing that they saved his homeland from destruction, and angered by that, Beji calls him a coward and subsequently shoots him in the back. Beji then proceeds to use his castle fruit ability to call out the soldiers from inside his body to fight Sanji and Brook, then cornering them. It was later found out that Nami and Chopper followed Sanji, but they were captured by Vito. Caesar, who was also hiding in the trees, gets exposed by Beji, who takes the crew into his own body. He hands out an invitation for Big Mom's tea party, telling them that it was for Sanji's wedding with Charlotte Pudding, as it was found out that he is in the Vinsmoke family. When Sanji refused the invitation, Beji tells the Straw Hat crew that they have already been captured as they are in his body, and Vito advises him against turning down Big Mom's invitation before whispering something to him, which after hearing the latter, Sanji's attitude change. Sanji calmly asks Beji for a pen and paper, and after writing a short message, he gives it to Nami to deliver to Luffy before giving the three of them a short goodbye, only to throw them outside the castle gate where they instantly return to normal. Beji moves to recapture them only to be stopped by Nekomamushi, whom Sanji had sensed was nearby. Meanwhile, back inside the castle, he takes Caesar hostage and threatened to kill him to force Beji to leave the island peacefully upon realizing that neither of them can be harmed. Beji reluctantly complies as Nami, Chopper and Brook are forced to watch them leave. In the present, Luffy disapproves of the whole thing and resolves to get Sanji back, as Brook points out that they have someone who knows where he is being taken. The group reach the Forest Guardians' home, where they are met by Pedro, captain of the Guardians. Entering the compound, Chopper quickly begins administering treatment to Nekomamushi, while Luffy and the others meet with Pecoms, who tells them that the head of the Vinsmoke family and Sanji's father is the one who ordered the wedding, and that he is the leader of an organization of assassins known as Germa 66, whom Nami says is a mythical army that doesn't exist. He tells Luffy that the wedding between Sanji and Big Mom's daughter is to form an alliance between the Vinsmoke and the Charlotte family, and that the Straw Hats won't become her subordinates. However, Sanji will no longer be part of their crew. Luffy retorts saying Sanji will refuse, but the latter warns that if he does, Big Mom will kill someone close to him. Luffy then makes the decision to follow Pecoms to the tea party to sabotage the wedding and bring Sanji back before Law show up with his crew and warn him that Kaido will be coming for them soon and that the country is also in danger. Nekomamushi show up and orders a feast to be thrown in the Straw Hats' honor, and while the rest of the crew parties, Brook, Robin and Frankie guard the city gate to prevent Kiemon and Kanjuro from entering the kingdom and invoking the wrath of the minks, but the two samurai pass through as they fall asleep and look for Luffy. The monkey from the gate rings the warning bell to warn the rest of the country. Duke Dogstorm and Nekomamushi both mobilize their troops and rush to the ruined city to intercept them, only to run into each other and due to their intense rivalry prepare to fight. Meanwhile, Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats race to find Kiemon and Kanjuro, who have already reunited with Momonosuke and manage to stop them as they enter the city. Kiemon, upon seeing the two kings fight, reveals himself and his comrades to the minks, announcing that they are from the Kazuki clan in the land of Wano, much to Luffy and the others' surprise. The mink instantly bow to the samurai, explaining to the Straw Hats that they have been friends with Kiemon's clan and that they are like family to them. Luffy and the others are then shocked to learn that Reizo had indeed been on ZOU all along, and that the entire country lied to Jack and the Beast Pirates to keep him safe, explaining that no matter what, they'd never sell out their friend. As Kiemon expresses his gratitude to the two rulers for keeping Reizo safe, Dogstorm and Nekomamushi quickly become angry at each other and prepare to fight, only to be chastised by Momonosuke, who they quickly bow to. Kiemon reveals that he is not Momonosuke's father and that his real father is Kazuki Oden, the great daimyo of Wano. He also explains that he and Kanjuro along with the rulers serve as his retainers. Dogstorm and Nekomamushi decide to call a truce and take the Straw Hats to journey to the large tree in the whale forest. They reach a hidden underground chamber to find a distraught Reizo who had been chained to prevent him from giving himself up to Jack. Kiemon and Kanjuro unchain him and finally reunite, while Robin investigates an unusual red poneglyph lying within the chamber. After she finished deciphering it, she discovers coordinates to an unknown location, and Dogstorm explained that it is called a road poneglyph and that there are 4 of them in the world, each with coordinates of a location. And when aligned they reveal the location of Raftel, the last island at the end of the Grand Line and the place where Gold Roger hid the One Piece. Upon hearing this, Luffy and the rest of the crew rejoice, while Nekomamushi tells them that of the 4 poneglyphs, one is with Big Mom, while the other is with Kaido, and the locations of the 4th is unknown. Robin is warned that the Yonkos and the other pirates can't decipher them, which means she will be targeted for kidnapping, but Robin responds stating that she'll be protected by her friends. Master Cat tells the crew that the Kazuki clan were very skilled stonemasons who were responsible for sculpting the poneglyphs, and Odin was the last in the line of Kazuki who knew how to read the language, but was executed by the current shogun of Wano and Kaido, captain of the Beast Pirates, since he had traveled to Raftel with Gold Roger. Meanwhile, Jack wakes up and Sheepshead returned to him. The Straw Hats learn that Kaido and the Shogun are after Momonosuke and the others because they believe that Odin passed down the knowledge of Raftel to them. Kiemon reveals that their intention is to take back Wano and open its borders by killing Kaido and the Shogun. When Kiemon asked Luffy for his help, he refused, demanding that Momonosuke speak for himself, and after remembering his parents being killed, Momonosuke states his desire to take down his enemy and ask Luffy for help. Accepting his request, Luffy and Law form an alliance with the Minks and the Samurai to take down Kaido and the Shogun. However, he requests to rescue Sanji from Big Mom before the battle. Meanwhile, Jack punished Sheepshead for returning to him without Reizo, and his fleet returns to ZOU to attack it again. But rather than take on the Minks in battle, Jack decides to attack the elephant Zenusha itself, shocking his crew. Back on ZOU, Duke Dogstorm and Nekomamushi reminisce about their time with Odin Whitebeard and later Roger. Kiemon states that Odin leaving Wano to go sailing was a crime, and Nami then asks about Crocus words on the log pose, as he stated that it would guide them to the final destination. However, they reply that rather than leading them directly to Raftel, it will lead them to a place that will be integral to helping them reach it, and Nekomamushi states his intention to find Marco and the Whitebeard pirates as allies for the war. Luffy learned that the remaining Whitebeard pirates went missing after suffering an overwhelming defeat by Blackbeard a year ago. Kiemon plans to go back Wano and help their allies with Law, while Luffy, Nami, Chopper, and Brook decide to set sail to rescue Sanji and take Big Mom's road poneglyph. Suddenly, ZOU starts to shake due to the Beast Pirates' attack, as Luffy and Momonosuke then hear an overwhelming voice inside their heads. ZOU continues shaking and Momonosuke realizes that Zenusha itself is talking to him, and sees that he is under attack by Jack and the Beast's pirates. As the Musketeers and Guardians race off to deal with the enemy, Zenusha receives a crippling blow and tells Momonosuke that it was once punished to walk the seas for eternity. Thus, it could not act against Jack unless given the order, and asks Momonosuke to do so. Momonosuke orders Zenusha to attack, allowing the giant elephant to annihilate Jack's entire fleet with a single swing of its trunk. As the people on ZOU recover from the attack, Scratchmanapu contacts Kaido to report the loss of Jack's fleet. Soon after, everyone start to work together to patch up his wound, while Nami looks at a map to find out how to reach Big Mom, and Carrot makes a decision. The group decides to break into 4, each with their own personal mission. Nekomamushi's group will search for Marco, while Dogstorm's group stay in ZOU to protect it in case of another attack with Momonosuke. In the meantime, Luffy, Nami, Chopper, Brook and Peacoms will go to retrieve Sanji, while the Samurai, Law and the rest of the pirates go to Wano. Jaguar Mink Pedro insists he would be the only one of the tribe to accompany Luffy's group, as only he can keep Peacoms under control. Soon after, Luffy's group descends to the Thousand Sunny, while at Alabasta, Princess Vivi prepares to head out to sea as various royal families begin their journey to the Reverie, such as the Alabasta royal family, Sabo's stepbrother Stelly, who is now the king of Goa Kingdom, and the Neptune royal family, where Shirahoshi is convinced to go by her father and brothers to accompany them. Meanwhile, Luffy's group is exhausted from their wild exit from ZOU and begin to set out for Tado Land only to find Carrot who have stowed away with them and decided to join them. Luffy decides to handle the cooking to avoid paying Nami. Meanwhile, Dalton, with Kureha from the newly named Cherry Blossom Kingdom, set to the reverie. Wapol, now king of the Black Drum Kingdom, get ready to go as well, while the Dressrosa royal family also prepares, with Rebecca accompanying them as a lady-in-waiting. Back on the Thousand Sunny, Pedro receives a new paper state the Revolutionary Army's headquarters has been devastated. The attack was caused by the Blackbeard pirates, and when looking at the newspaper, Luffy sees his father Dragon's face for the first time. Despite his concern for Sabo, Pedro states it is more likely they are still alive and safe somewhere. However, this distraction and the fact that Luffy left the stove on, causes a gas explosion in the kitchen and the meal he planned turn out awful, and that he also wasted a week's worth of food, leaving them with none. At ZOU, Dogstorm worries over the fact the enemy might have a Viva card for them, while at the bottom of the sea, Jack, who's immobile, is revealed to still be alive. Meanwhile, Kaido is enraged at Doflamingo's capture, and swears revenge against the worst generation, as it is also revealed he has captured Eustace Kid.